Welcome to Grammar, y'all. Thanks for visiting. If you want some chill and purposeful grammar knowledge, make sure you subscribe. In the video on our YouTube channel, Nouns and Verbs Rule the Page, we use 4 questions to help us revise our writing to reconsider how we're using adjectives, nouns, and verbs in our writing. We took a super wordy, adjective-heavy paragraph and rewrote it, asking these questions as guides for revision. In that video, I argue that Mark Twain was absolutely right when he said, "When you catch an adjective, kill it. No, I don't mean utterly, but kill most of them. Then the rest will be valuable. They weaken when they're close together. They give strength when they're far apart." In this video, we're going to look at some writers and how they also know that adjectives are stronger when they're far apart. You can use these writerly examples in your own teaching, showing students that nouns and verbs are the thing for strong writing. S.E. Hinton was 18 years old when her first novel, The Outsiders, was published. Her scenes rely on strong images that nouns and verbs paint. Her use of adjectives is sparing and thoughtful. Let's look at an excerpt. "And even as the policeman's guns spit fire into the night, I knew that was what Dally wanted. He was jerked half around by the impact of the bullets, then slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph on his face." Here I've highlighted some of her nouns, not all of them, but the ones that really paint a picture in our head. Phrases like fire into the night, the impact of the bullets, grim triumph on his face, these phrases show us what's happening in the scene far more effectively than any adjective might. Yes, I know grim is an adjective here, but it's paired with the noun triumph, and these are not 2 words that we typically see together. That combination tells us a lot. Let's look at the verbs in this excerpt, highlighted in blue. Like the nouns, I didn't highlight all of the verbs in this, but the verbs here, these are some powerful verbs. There's attitude and meaning behind these verbs. He didn't fall, he crumpled. He wasn't turned half around, he was jerked half around. As Hinton shows us, strong nouns and verbs can paint vivid images that can take us to a place and time and help us feel what those in the book are feeling in that moment. Now, let's look at another example. I have to say, this is one of my favorite poems, Believing in Iron by Yusuf Komunyakaa. What we're looking at here isn't the full poem, and I encourage you to go check out this poet for some amazing pieces you can bring into the classroom. Okay, an excerpt of Believing in Iron. "Sometimes I dreamt how our hills washed into a sea of metal, how it all became an anchor for a warship or a bomber, out over trees with blooms too red to look at." Here we've highlighted our verbs in blue and our nouns in green and our one adjective in purple. In this second example, we're starting to identify a pattern that we also saw in Hinton's excerpt above, using prepositional phrases to position us as readers and let us know what we should see. Here are some examples from Hinton and her use of prepositional phrases. And here we see Komunyakaa's use of prepositional phrases. Now, y'all, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go out and teach prepositional phrases to get students to write descriptively. Here, we're just noticing patterns in good descriptive writing, and what we're seeing is prepositional phrases as one way to incorporate strong nouns. In addition to purposeful use of prepositional phrases, authors also use similes and metaphors to integrate those strong nouns. Look at the bottom of the screen for a definition of similes and metaphors. To see strong similes and metaphors, we're going to look at an excerpt of the vignette Hares in Sandra Cisneros' book, The House on Mango Street. "But my mother's hair, like little rosettes, like little candy circles, all curly and pretty because she pinned it in pin curls all day. Sweet to put your nose into when she's holding you and you feel safe. Is the warm smell of bread before you bake it. The snoring, the rain, and mama's hair that smells like bread. Cisneros is an author who creates art with her words, but here let's focus on her use of similes and her metaphor. We've got these images of candy, warmth, and bread used to describe her mother's hair. Hinton, Kominaka, and Cisneros teach us that authors use strong nouns and verbs to set the tone in their writing. Hinton's nouns are dark and quick. Fire, not, impact, bullets. As readers, we are someplace dark and sad, but she never uses those adjectives to tell us that. Kominaka changes his tone towards the end of the excerpt. His nouns begin hard and aggressive like metal, anchor, warship, bomber. But then he quickly takes us somewhere softer with trees and blooms. Cisneros starts soft and ends soft with images that conjure safety, closeness, and home. Rosettes, candy circles, bread, smell. So in this video, we've seen how authors use nouns and verbs purposefully to paint pictures, take us to a specific somewhere, and tell us the feelings we should have in that moment. Thanks so much for joining me today. Y'all take care of yourselves. If you want some chill and purposeful grammar knowledge, make sure you subscribe. I forgot the name of the video again.
Nouns and verbs rule the page.
In this video, we're going to look at some writers and how they too,